welcome friends. Good to be here with you on this Sunday at the very end of September. And it's nice to see a lot of familiar faces in the room and maybe some folks who haven't been here before. So my name is Djuna Devereaux. My pronouns are she and her. And this morning we'll take a little time for chanting. And then I'll talk a little bit about our theme, which today is opening to the life of the body. And we'll sit together. We'll sit for about 20 minutes. And then I'll talk a little bit more at the end. And that'll go until the top of the hour. And then there'll be time for discussion, for sharing, for Q&A for about 15 or 20 minutes if you'd like to join for that. So again, welcome. It's really good to be here. It's good to share this time. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to begin at the top of page 3 in the chanting booklet with the homage to the Buddha, the Namo Tassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. And then the recollection of the Triple Jewel on page 4. So this recollection of the qualities of refuge, remembering refuge in awakening, refuge in how it is, in our capacity to be present, in this human capacity to be aware, to be awake. And also the quality of the Dhamma that is akaliko, it is timeless, and it is always inviting us to look deeper, to turn towards what is here, ehipassiko, to look into the nature of how it is now, opanayiko, leading inward to the source. So chanting together on page 4. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho bija charana sampano sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati satta Dewa manusanam buddho bhagavati savakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akaliko ehipassiko opanayiko pachatang veditabo vinyuhiti Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Naya Patipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Samichi Patipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Yadidang Chattari Purisa Yuganiya Tapurisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Ahunayo Pahunayo Dakinayo Anjali Karaniyo Anutaram Punya Ketang Loka Sati. Just taking a moment to feel the resonance of these ancient sounds within the body, within the heart. And then back to the mantras on page 3. And I've been loving the number 6 mantra, and I haven't shared it very much, so I'm hesitating, but I think we'll just go for it as we practice together most Sundays, and we can enjoy just this homage to the Shakyamuni Buddha. So the mantra on page 3, number 6. If this one's new, you might just listen a few times. I'll just keep repeating it as I find my way into it. Namo Ban Shur Shur Jamoni Fo 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 Namo Ban Shur Shur Jamoni Fo. So I'll stop my share. And again, welcome. It's really good to be here with you on this Sunday. It's quiet autumn Sunday here on Orcas Island where I live. And this morning I want to share a little bit about this theme of opening to the life of the body. And this is a central curiosity for me, central to my work. I teach movement and embodiment practices. And I'm also always curious about how to name what is ultimately has to be experienced. And so today we'll do a bit of both, a little bit of naming and a little bit of experiencing and a little bit of naming. So, but I encourage you as I'm speaking, as much as possible, to feel the ground beneath you, to feel your breath, this life force that we share, and just to feel the resonance of the sounds, whatever lands, whatever words or phrases or concepts that land and are supportive, and whatever doesn't land, letting that move on and move through. So opening to the life of the body, this was and is in the living Dharma, the heart of the Buddha's teaching, is this practice of becoming reunited with, or to remember, this word sati, which has unfortunately been translated as mindfulness. But for me, it's really this healing of the split, the division that can happen, that does happen when we live in a human body, in a world that doesn't always support us, doesn't always meet us, doesn't always offer us a sense of support and wholeness. And so this process, this ongoing process of healing that split, of remembering the body, and of opening to the life of the body, rather than the story of the body, the projection of the body, what's wrong with the body, how it's not right, or how it doesn't look right, or doesn't feel just right in this moment. And so that will be our inquiry today. And in the Satipatthana Sutta, just want to read a little bit about what the Buddha said about this practice of remembering, or embodied awareness, establishing embodied awareness. So this is the opening to the Satipatthana, and then a phrase from the first foundation of mindfulness, mindfulness of body and breath. Practitioners, this is the one-way path for the purification of beings, for the surmounting of sorrow and lamentation, for the passing away of pain and dejection, for the attainment of the true way, for the realization of Nibbana, namely the four establishments of mindfulness. What are the four? Here, a practitioner dwells, contemplating the body in the body, contemplating the body in the body, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, having subdued longing and dejection in regard to the world. So he starts off saying, this is the one-way path, Ekayana Magga. So I've heard many teachers, including Kitty Sorrow, translate this instead of the one-way path, but as a path to wholeness, a path to oneness. So this is a path of that remembering, of healing the split, the division between body and mind, between mind and heart, between self and other, between belonging and not belonging. And how do we do this, right? What are the ways that we do this? Beginning with contemplating the body in the body. Ardent, clearly comprehending, and mindful. So this body in the body, and that's what I'm interested in today. This points us to a direct intimacy with the body in the body, a cellular awareness of the body. So again, instead of a projection of how this body should be, a felt sense experience of the body. And how do we open to this? Because for so many people, including myself, the movement out of the body is really fast. It's really natural, actually, as animals. When there's overwhelm or stress or danger, or when there has been in the past, to develop a quick way of getting out of the embodied experience. And so it can be very skillful to exit the body. And yet this practice of remembering is to be in contact with the body that is always in the present moment, that is always here and now, and that is also a home for the heart. It's a trustworthy place to bring awareness, rather than being caught up in thought or emotion, to bring awareness to just what's happening right now within the field, within the landscape of the body. And there's dukkha, right? Why do we exit the body? Because there's dukkha. This is also the heart of the Buddha's teaching, of course, that to be a human being, to be embodied, is inherently limited, is inherently painful, is inherently subject to all kinds of distress, as we know, as we well know. And so how do we begin? And I think one way to begin, and we might just now begin this together, and we'll move into our meditation. And I'll give a little bit of instruction as we go into sitting and being with ourselves. And then there'll be silence. In partway through the meditation, I'll give just a little bit more instruction. And then again, there will be silence. So we're moving into a little instruction and a lot of silence. So the inquiry is, what is your present moment attitude or relationship with your body? Just noticing that. This morning when I got up, I was drinking tea and I just noticed there was some contention because I hadn't slept that well. And I knew I was going to be with you. And I was like, oh, I want to show up in this particular way. So there was just this little fighting with how my body felt in the moment. So you might just notice that there's some contention. Maybe there's also a lot of kindness, a lot of respect, a lot of awe. Whatever it is, just noticing what's arisen. And especially if there is some pain, some discomfort. Maybe you too didn't sleep well or you're fatigued. Is there a subtle way that you're fighting? That it shouldn't be this way? And how is it just to notice that, whatever is here? Very gentle, very kind. Just opening now to the life of the body. And here, Vedana or feeling tone and the breath. These are doorways. These are portals into the felt sense of the body. And whatever's present, you don't need to judge. Maybe judging is already present. Just the noticing is enough. Very gentle, very patient. Breathing in, breathing out. And especially if there's pain in the body, just noticing where is your attention drawn to. Maybe the mind like a tongue, the tongue going to a sore tooth, just keeps going back again and again to the pain, to the dukkha, to the discomfort. That's a natural response, self-protective. Noticing if there's danger. And yet at the same time, how is it to begin to open a little bit more fully to the life of the body? So not suppressing, not pushing away what's painful, difficult, tension. But widening the lens of awareness. What else is here? If it's possible, there might be the sense of breathing the whole body. Or breathing into the places where there's ease or not much sensation. So allowing the awareness to be fluid, to move through the body. Noticing, yes, there might be tension, pain. But there might also be just the simple sense of sitting here. Hands touching the body, body touching earth, breath moving in, moving out. And if the mind is moving quickly, it can be helpful to drop a question into the meditation, just offering the mind an invitation. How is it now? How is the body now? And then listening, being receptive. It's not a question that the mind can answer. Allowing awareness to rest in the body. Receiving the changing landscape, feeling tone, heat, coolness, whatever is here. offering the mind an invitation. How is the body now? We'd also be curious, what is the relationship to how the body is now? On a felt sense level. Being receptive, listening in. The language of the body is sensation. The landscape of the body is vast, always changing. And it's an ecosystem from which thought and emotion arises, and into which thought and emotion become embedded. So if there is a lot of thinking or strong emotion, how is it to sense that in the body? The echo or the contraction, the sensation. And if it feels like a lot, whatever you're with, how is it to know that all beings experience pain, embodied pain, emotional pain? Here we are sitting together for that very reason, allowing the Sangha to hold you. Contemplating the body in the body. This direct, intimate listening. Even if there isn't much sensation in the body, can't really feel much, don't want to be in the body. That in itself is noticing the body, being intimate with the body, our relationship with it, just as it is. Not judging, very gentle, very kind. Sensing the ground beneath you, the Sangha around you, as we sit for just another few moments. You might want to take a moment to stretch or to move, to look away from the screen as we transition to a little bit more teaching. So I want to begin this last part of my sharing today on opening to the life of the body with a part of a poem, the beginning of a poem by Mark Nepo that many of you have probably heard. It's called Yes, We Can Talk. This is for me a poem that I live by and articulates this process of being in a direct experience with the body, even when there's pain, maybe especially when there's pain, and this sense of homecoming coming home to the body, taking refuge in the body, listening. So this is Yes, We Can Talk by Mark Nepo. Having loved enough and lost enough, I am no longer searching, just opening. No longer trying to make sense of pain, but trying to be a soft and sturdy home in which real things can land. These are the irritations that rub into a pearl. So we can talk a while, but then we must listen, the way rocks listen to the sea. And we can churn at all that goes wrong, but then we must lay all distractions down and water every living seed. So as I said, there's good reason to exit the body. And there's a lot of forces in the world right now in our lives, whether that's personal or collective, global, that draw one away from the body and into thinking, into projection, into a sense of disconnect from what is here and now. And as I said, this is so natural. This is really like that instinct to flee or to dissociate or to freeze when there's overwhelm. And so this process of moving into relationship with the body, into this deep listening, is ongoing. I mentioned that this is really central to my own life. And at the same time, and I was prepared this talk this morning and was going to be with you all. And at the same time was noticing the contention in my own self, in that split, even just in a moment of, oh, it shouldn't be this way. Oh, I should be more resourced. Oh, I should be more energetic. Oh, I should be more clear. The body shouldn't feel how it is. And for me in that moment, I just went outside, just to feel the ground and just to sense the world around me. And this is the connection, and in a way for me is the motivation to keep doing this work of the return, because we do live in this responsive world. We do live in this ensouled world. We do live in a world that is speaking back to us and is actually speaking back to our bodies all the time. We know this through science. These bodies are completely, inherently, inextricably connected to the whole world, but the natural world. And so just that moment of return, just that moment of feeling, how is it right now in the body? We can begin to once again inhabit the web of life. Sunyo Suzuki Roshi spoke about shining your one corner of the world. And I was thinking about that, what does that mean? Caring for your one part of the web of life, this body, this home. And again, beginning with that relationship, beginning with that inquiry. Just, is there some split? Is there some contention? And right underneath, right around all of this, is the practice of metta, the practice of kindness. This relentless, ongoing acknowledgement that, to be in a body is difficult. Letting that resonate in the heart, letting that wake the heart up to the kindness just towards this form, just the way that it is impacted by everything that is going on, everything that is happening. And on the other side of that, because we live in a responsive world, we have a responsibility, I think, also to the natural world, to the world around us. And so to take time to resource as we've done today. Take time to slow the mind down to the rhythm of the body. To take time just to breathe in and to breathe out. To notice, is there a way that we're trying to contend, trying to make sense of pain? Is there a way that we can allow ourselves just to be with what's here? To resource so that we can also engage, so that we can also take up our place within the web of life. Even if that just means a little bit more connection, a little bit more kindness, a little bit more openness to the people that we meet. Or I feel this in my own practice in so many ways. One really strong way is like the spider in the bathtub. Maybe many, many years ago, the other day, I turned on the water and the spider got caught in the water. And I felt it so strongly, just this like, And many years ago, maybe that wouldn't have had such an impact of this spider, and it was struggling and got it out and got it outside, and it actually dried out and it survived. But wow, that moment of like, oh no, that sense of deep care that comes through this practice of just moment by moment, the return, the homecoming, the remembering what's been dismembered. And so in a way, this is this caring for our humanity, this caring for our place in the web of life. And I think in a time when sometimes even our deep care for other beings, because we're receiving so much information, so many images, so many things that are disturbing and challenging to be with, that even that in and of itself, that compassion can move us out of the body into that overwhelm. So feeling the ground, feeling ourselves as part of a web of life, as something that we don't have to hold on our own. Sometimes it's too much, right? It's too much just to come into that moment of embodied presence. That's when we can chant. That's where ceremony comes in. That's where devotional practice can come in. Just walking on the land or chanting or being with others in Sangha as we are today. That's that way that whatever is too big, that overwhelms the embodied experience, that's that larger way of coming back into relationship, of that remembering. And so I want to end this time together with a quote by Prentice Hemphill from their book, What It Takes to Heal. Embodiment reveals our bodies as central to change and transformation. It awakens our felt sense of choice and deepens our connection to ourselves, each other, and the world around us. So embodiment reveals our bodies as central to change and transformation. It awakens our felt sense of choice and deepens our connection to ourselves, each other, and the world around us. Let's just sit for a moment. And let's end with a mantra. The same mantra, number 6 on page 3, honoring the Shakyamuni Buddha, but also honoring Namo, honoring our own capacity to be awake, to be embodied, to be part of the transformation and change. Namo Ban Shur Shur Jamo Shur Shur Ja Moni Ho. May the blessing of our time together, of our being here, of our showing up, of our practice, of our effort, moments of bringing attention to the body, moments of kindness, of gentleness, feeling the support of the earth. May all of this radiate out into the connections that we make in this day. May our bodies, our nervous systems, our heart be a lighthouse to those we encounter, so that the Dharma ripples out through the web of life. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani